Hi, I'm Julius, and today I'm going to show you how to display Prometheus histograms as a heat map in Grafana. I already talked about histograms in detail in my last video, and I explained how to use the heat map panel in Prometheus itself. So go check out that video first if you don't know anything about histograms yet. Alright, let's go. So for this video, I'm going to assume that you have a working Grafana setup already and you know how to create dashboards and panels. Otherwise, check out my previous video about Grafana up here. Here I'm using the latest version of Grafana, which currently is 11.1.4, but I hope that yours doesn't look too different yet. To display Prometheus histograms as a heat map, we'll first need to create a new panel by either clicking on Add Visualization if the dashboard is new, or clicking on Add and Visualization at the top if there are already other panels in the dashboard. And then in this new panel, we'll head to the visualization type setting at the top right, and we'll change the type to Heatmap. Now, let's enter a PromQL expression that returns a Prometheus histogram representing the per second request rates for a number of latency buckets. This is the same expression as in my previous histograms video, so I won't go into the details here. After running the query, you will see that the heat map above doesn't look quite right yet if you compare it to the Prometheus version. That's because Grafana doesn't interpret the returned data correctly yet. By default, Grafana seems to assume that the returned histogram buckets are not cumulative, but just contain the counts for their respective ranges. To make Grafana interpret the data correctly, we'll have to change the format option of the query from time series to heatmap. Don't ask me why these format names make sense, because I actually don't know either. But now Grafana interprets the incoming data correctly as cumulative histogram bucket data with LE labels on the time series indicating the upper bound of each bucket. Okay. And secondly, let's configure a unit to get a nicer display of the latency values on the y-axis. Head to the unit options and choose seconds. This is because the histogram itself is measuring request latencies in seconds, which we can tell by the queried metric name. And now you can see that the y-axis shows properly formatted and readable durations. Give the panel a title like Demo Service Latency, and then hit Apply to get back to the dashboard. We can now take a look at the heat map and see the requests per second we get for the different latency bands over time. The brighter the color, the more requests there are. For example, we are getting just above 100 requests per second between 8.65 and 13 milliseconds at this point in the graph. And later on, we see a few requests that take between 333 and 499 milliseconds to complete. So now we can get a quick visual impression of our service's latency behavior. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and if you want to learn more about the basics of Prometheus, go check out my training courses at training.promlabs.com. Also, please like the video if you learned something and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Bye bye!